Observatory, a very big telescope that is a very, very big deal. So you are looking, you're inside a dome that's about 10 stories tall, and you're looking at a telescope that's 8 stories tall, and it weighs about 350 tons. So the telescope rides around on 4 legs here, so this is one of the legs, and the telescope itself is this kind of white network here. This is the back of the mirror segment. So this steel structure holds up the mirror. As I said outside, the mirror is 33 feet across. It is not a single piece of glass. It is made up of 36 segments. So it's kind of like a honeycomb or a fly's eye or a matrix. This is the side of the mirror. You have little piezoelectric motors, little fingers, and then you have these white hydraulic pistons that make sure that the mirror segments are in alignment with each other and in alignment as a giant single mirror. So over 20 times a second, the telescope mirror gets adjusted so that it's in its perfect parabolic shape. So what it does at nighttime, the dome will be open, the light will come in from the outside, whether it's a galaxy, a star, or a planet, or something like that. The light will hit the primary mirror. That light will then get shown up to the secondary mirror up top here. The secondary mirror is about 8 feet across. And then the light will get redirected through a hole in the mirror through this black tube. And then from there, the light will get to an instrument. By the time the light gets to an instrument, it goes from 33 feet to 8 feet to about the size of a nickel by the time it gets to an instrument. You are looking at the mirror here. This is 36 segments. That's about 850 square feet of light collecting area. This is the biggest optical mirror in the world for optical astronomy. The lines on the mirrors, or the lines between the mirrors, do not affect the observing. And that is because this telescope is basically looking off into infinity. We've all had the experience of looking through a chain link fence. If you look at the fence, you see the fence. But if you look through the fence to infinity, the fence basically disappears. Because the telescope here is looking off to infinity, the lines don't matter. Now the mirror, so as the telescope's going by here, I'm going to point this out. You see where my laser is? The telescope rides around on hydraulic oil. It's under hydraulic pressure. You can actually see the oil seeping over the edge right there. So the telescope rides around on a film of oil about 1/1000th of an inch thick. And it does that so that as the telescope moves, there's no vibration. There's nothing to interfere with the observations. If it were running around on a chain and on wheels, you would get vibration, which would disturb the research. Now the mirrors that are made up here, the mirrors are not made out of glass. The mirrors, it's a ceramic glass material, just like Pyrex. But it's better than Pyrex. Pyrex you can freeze, Pyrex you can bake, Pyrex you can stick in the microwave and nothing happens to it. This material, which the mirror is made out of, is called Zerodor. It's 10,000 times more resistant to thermal expansion or contraction than Pyrex is. So theoretically, it's not going to shrink or swell or anything like that. Probably one question you guys had when you got in here is, why is it so bloody cold in here? They air condition the dome so that the temperature inside is exactly the same as the temperature of what it's going to be outside at nighttime. And the reason is, you don't want warm air gathering here during the day and cold air at nighttime, because then what would happen is once you open the dome, you're going to get condensation. We've all had that. Glasses, sunglasses, air conditioning from the car, you step outside and your glasses fog up. Well, with this mirror, you don't want it to fog up, because it's not like you can walk up to it with your sweatshirt, wipe off the mirror. If condensation, if moisture does get on this mirror, it literally takes 6 hours of blowers and fans to get it off. So that's why they air condition the dome in here. They also air condition it so that during the day it doesn't warm up, so you don't get any sort of expansion in the metal structure of the telescope itself. Steel expands with heat, it contracts with cold. So the dome here is cooled to whatever the temperature is going to be at nighttime. One thing that's interesting with this air conditioning here, their electrical bill every month is $100,000 a month in air conditioning alone. That's over $1.2 million a year in air conditioning. All of the telescopes here on the Melton air condition their domes. Needless to say, the local utility company sends Christmas presents to the telescope saying thank you for your business, because we are the most we use the most electricity in the state up here at the top.
How much does the whole assembly weigh?
The telescope itself weighs 350 tons. The dome is 700 tons, but the telescope itself is 350. Now, one thing that's